what are the most significant challenges you face in fostering sort of positive and effective leadership?
So, I think for me, the challenge would be, and I'll say this as I began, as I like when I was a new leader, I've been in leadership for over 25 years. And so I've had
Hmm.
lots of experiences. But when I came into leadership roles in the beginning, I did not factor in the human factor. I, was going by the book of what I'd read and what I'd learned from school and what I thought I knew, and not factoring in that every interaction I was going to have as a leader, there was a human being on the other side of it. And I had zero control into how they were going to react to what I was, setting in front of them. And so for
Hmm.
me, that was one of the biggest things, was to start to understand that there is a human being on the other side of this. And so I need to do all I can to diligently learn about humans and to try to understand their thought process. Of course, if for any reason I was going to try to inspire or motivate anyone to do anything, then I needed to know how to come to them on their level in order
Hmm.
to be able to get that out of them. So it was interesting for me because I know who I am and I know how I function, and I know what type of person I am, and I know how to make that person move forward. But that was all I was familiar with. And so then I realized, oh, yeah, I've got to adjust. And it was and sometimes as a leader, you start in and you're like, no, everybody needs to do it the way that I say they need to do it. I'm the leader. I'm the boss. I'm the one who's in charge. And very quickly, I realized, no, that's not how it works. And it was interesting because a lot of that I actually pulled from my childhood, from growing up with 8 other siblings. And then from being a parent, you learn really quickly. I have 4 children, each one of
Hmm.
them very different personalities. They have very different ways of doing things. And I can't ask one of them to do their chores in the same way that I asked the other one. And so I had to figure out, if I wanted them to do their chores, I had to figure out how I was going to inspire and motivate them, each individual, to do their chores. And I took that into the workplace with me and realized, oh, we're all just the same. We're just human beings going through this experience. And so I'm going to need to adjust my message to each individual person in the work.
Right. I love that. We skipped out there for a moment, so I hopefully that isn't on the recording, but I don't
Yeah.
think I missed anything significant. I love your answer, and in the work I do, it's very similar because I focus on like cognitive neuroscience, but it doesn't feel like that. This is informing what real humans go through and how real humans are. So if you know who Andrew Huberman is, he talks about this stuff a whole ton. He's like a
Yeah.
Harvard professor. You know who he is?
Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, high five to you. Love that. And the practices aren't anything mysterious. He can just go into the weeds for you, and I can to a lesser degree.
Yeah.
But it really comes out to, if this isn't usable and it isn't um, tailored to the individual or group you're dealing with, it is by definition useless, which
Yeah.
is why I hate the idea. We have this program that works for everybody. Either, in my very direct and honest opinion, you have no clue what you're talking about, or you do, but you're lying because the work of actually making it personalized is too much, and you're
Yeah.
more about the money and less about the results.
Yeah.
Got to be
100%.
honest.
I agree. I agree.
I,
Absolutely.
I'm going to give a personal injection into what you said, because we were talking about kids being different.
Yeah.
Many years ago, my father gave this insight to us, talking about something he learned from his mother. Also a big family, to the factor of my father had 4 brothers and 10 sisters.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And her motherly insight was, no two of my children are the same. They are all different, and that's what you have to be aware of to be a good parent and a good leader in the family. I just want to mention something else, which is totally random. I have these LED lights. So if the light color changes to any crazy color or changes in intensity, you are not having a seizure. It's just unfortunate when the programming kind of comes loose. You know, you do a setting, but if it comes loose, it does whatever it wants. So that's, it's not a disco and you're not having a seizure.
Okay.
So let's move on to the other question. I love what you said, because ultimately, and as also somebody who's now lived in Asia since the end of 2005, absolutely, on the most fundamental level, people are individuals and yet fundamentally the same. And you need both of those variables to understand how to lead anybody, including yourself, really.
100%.
Okay. So the next one is,